The most painful truth about relationships is this: your avoidant partner never treasures your loyalty, your care, or your emotional availability. In their eyes, these aren't your strengths, they're your weaknesses. And the biggest irony, the more you give, the less they value you. Think about it. One day, you sacrificed all your time for them. You tolerated their mood swings, listened patiently to their problems, comforted them, and put your own needs aside. And what happens the next day? They became even more distant, even colder. That breaks you, doesn't it? But the problem isn't you. The problem is their psychological pattern. Attachment researcher Dr. Mary Ainsworth's experiments prove that avoidant individuals live in a pattern where intimacy feels suffocating. And John Bowlby, the founder of attachment theory, explained that avoidants see closeness not as a reward but as a threat. Here another principle applies. Dr. Robert Cialdini's scarcity principle. He said what is rare automatically feels more valuable. The avoidant brain works exactly like this. When your love, your time, your availability becomes free and unlimited, its value drops to zero in their eyes. Just like a child who gets a toy for free breaks it in 2 days. But if that same toy requires effort to earn, they'll protect it for years. The brutal truth is avoidants only chase what isn't easily available to them. And as long as you keep making yourself a free supply, you won't be priceless to them. You'll be replaceable. This is the trap you fall into, believing that more love and more sacrifice will change them. But in reality, the more you give, the less they value you. So now let's understand the mistakes you are making. You think, if I love them a little more, stay a little more patient, sacrifice a little more, one day my avoidant partner will finally melt. This instinct feels completely natural, because from childhood, we're taught that true love means unconditional giving, putting your own needs aside. We see in movies, dramas, and stories that the one who loves the most ultimately wins. So your heart believes that if you just keep giving, staying patient, understanding, one day they will finally see how valuable you are to them. Imagine you wait for them when they disappear for hours, or even days. You cancel your own plans just hoping they might show up. You endure their silence, their harsh words, their mood swings, and still open your heart to forgive them. You tell yourself one day they'll realize that no one else could ever love them like I do. You believe your love will heal them, that your loyalty and consistency will break down the walls of their fear. This instinct makes you feel like a hero, as if your love is the key that will unlock their heart. But in reality, this is your biggest mistake. Why? Because an avoidant mind does not see your sacrifice as love. It sees it as pressure. The closer you try to get, the more suffocated they feel. It's like trying to hug someone tightly who is already leaning back. The harder you hold on, the more they feel trapped. Yet your heart keeps saying just a little more patience, just a little more effort. And deep down you've already noticed that the more you give, the further they pull away. This is the cruelest cycle. You think your generosity is your strength, but in their eyes it becomes your biggest weakness. Attachment theory founder John Bowlby explained that avoidant individuals see closeness not as a reward but as a threat. That's why your instinct to give more love and make more sacrifices doesn't calm them. It makes them more insecure and distant. And that's why no matter how much you give, it's never enough for them. You are playing a game where the rules are stacked against you, and you barely even realize it. Now, let's see, when you give so much, how does the avoidant actually react? And why does this cycle never seem to end? But here's the brutal twist. The more you give, the less they value you. You think your endless love, loyalty, patience, and sacrifices will finally melt them. But the reality is harsher. Instead of softening, they grow colder. Instead of appreciating, they start pulling away. Every effort you make, every gesture you offer with your heart, becomes expected, ordinary, and even invisible to them. Think about it. You rearrange your life to be available for them, tolerate their moods, endure their silences, and patiently listen to their frustrations. You postpone your own plans, ignore your own needs, and keep telling yourself, just one more effort, just one more sacrifice, maybe they'll finally see my worth. Yet, it never works that way. The truth is simple but brutal. The more you give, the more your value diminishes in their eyes. Your generosity stops being a strength. It becomes baseline. They start expecting you to always be there, always available. Your overgiving becomes their convenience. and your efforts lose all significance. This is the exact moment when you feel confused, asking yourself, I gave so much, I sacrificed so much, so why are they still distant? Your heart and mind both struggle because your instinct tells you that love means giving, but reality says that overgiving is actually reducing your worth. And here's the vicious cycle. The more you chase, the more they withdraw. The more you give, the less they appreciate. Your endless love doesn't inspire gratitude. It breeds entitlement and expectation. Your sacrifices become their comfort, not their motivation. Imagine doing this over and over. How would it make you feel? Frustrated, exhausted, and undervalued, right? Your instinct keeps urging you to give more, be more patient, chase harder. But this is exactly where you're making your biggest mistake. And now, let's explore why this pattern fails so consistently, and what it has to do with the simple analogy of a child and a toy. Think of a child with a toy. If they get the toy for free without any effort, they might play with it for a while, break it, or forget about it in just a couple of days. That toy becomes ordinary and replaceable to them. But if the same child has to work for that toy, wait for it, or save up for it, the toy becomes precious. They take care of it, protect it, and keep it safe for years. The value of the toy becomes tied to their own effort and struggle, not just its existence. The avoidant mind works in exactly the same way. When it comes to love, attention, and presence, your care, patience, and loyalty, when offered freely, endlessly without boundaries, become ordinary to them. They start expecting it. It doesn't feel special anymore. And the more effort, sacrifice, and love you give, the less valuable it seems in their eyes. It's just there and its significance drops to zero. The hard truth is that overgiving and unconditional availability are often seen as weakness, not strength. You might think that your patience and sacrifices show your power, but in reality, you're making yourself replaceable. The very actions you hope will increase your value often push them further away. Your generosity, your time, your presence, they become invisible or underappreciated. Think practically. Every time you cancel your plans for them, wait for their messages, tolerate their distance, or soften your boundaries, you're handing them another free toy. They don't need to work for your attention, respect, or love. And just like the child who got the toy for free, your love becomes ordinary to the avoidant partner. Its magic, importance, and the power it could have had to create connection or gratitude vanish. This is the trap many people fall into. You mistake overgiving for strength, thinking your patience and sacrifice define your value, but in reality, it lowers your value in their eyes. And this cycle keeps repeating. The more you give, the less you're valued. The more you chase, the further they go. And the moment you stop overgiving and being freely available and set your boundaries, that's when the real dynamics begin. Now, let's see how the avoidant reacts when you pull back and they start to chase. When you consciously reduce your availability or keep your affection in check, that's when the real dynamics begin. This is the moment when every action you take, every moment you give, becomes limited and special for them. As long as you are instantly available all the time, replying to every call immediately, responding to every message without hesitation, your presence becomes ordinary in their eyes. They start taking you for granted, like background noise that's always there. And this is the trap most people fall into. They get confused thinking that giving more, or being more available, increases their value when in reality it diminishes it. When you intentionally pull back and make your attention and presence less freely accessible, curiosity and interest naturally trigger. Pulling back isn't just about physical or digital presence. It also applies to your energy, attention, and emotional availability. As soon as your time becomes limited for them, they begin to notice the changes are subtle at first, and they might not consciously understand it, but their brain automatically scans. This thing is now limited. Its importance has increased. Pulling back doesn't just create scarcity, it shifts the perception of your value. Your restraint sends a signal that your attention and care are meaningful and not guaranteed. As long as you remain continuously accessible, their attachment system stays dormant. Your presence feels ordinary to them. But the moment you intentionally step back, they instinctively notice that your love, care, and attention are now limited, and that limitation automatically makes it precious in their eyes. Pulling back also means maintaining your boundaries. These boundaries can be small, pausing instant replies, not giving 100% availability every day or weekend, or protecting your personal space. Even these small changes create a big effect in the eyes of an avoidant. They start thinking, wait, maybe this isn't always going to be available to us. Its value has increased. And that's exactly when the real dynamics begin. They start chasing consciously or unconsciously, trying to gain your connection and attention despite your absence. This is the moment when the pullback effect truly starts working on them. And now it's time to see how the principle of scarcity ignites their attention and attachment. Now that you've taken the pullback step, this is the moment when the scarcity principle starts working. There's a well-known psychology concept. Scarcity increases value. Whatever is rare automatically becomes more important. If you're always available, replying instantly to every message, answering every call, and meeting every request, without pause, the avoidant sees your attention as ordinary. They start taking you for granted, like a routine part of life, or something that's always there. But when you become selective and rare, that's when the real magic begins. Your time and care now feel limited and precious. The avoidance attachment system automatically kicks in, and they notice that your presence is no longer guaranteed. This scarcity triggers curiosity and urgency in their mind. They want what has suddenly become rare and valuable. The effect of scarcity is subtle, but powerful. Every action, every pause, and every limit you set sends a clear signal. My time and attention aren't unlimited. If you want it, you have to earn it. It creates a new framework for them, where they realize they now need effort and focus to earn connection and care. And as soon as they realize this, they naturally start chasing, driven by curiosity and attachment. This principle doesn't just change their behavior, it shifts your perception too. Your boundaries and selective availability now become a valuable commodity in their eyes. Your restraint becomes an invisible magnet, drawing them toward you. And this is the step that actively engages the avoidant. They begin showing effort, consciously or unconsciously striving for your attention and care. This is the moment when scarcity ignites their attachment and desire. It's the natural extension of your pullback and selective availability, and the next step will show how this chase starts to appear clearly in their emotions and actions. This is the exact moment when the effect of scarcity starts showing clearly in their emotions. And now it's time to see how they begin to chase, show possessiveness, and put in effort, leading to the next step, avoidance reaction. As soon as you pull back and intentionally limit your availability and affection, the avoidant's true behavior gradually starts to surface. This is the phase where their attachment system fully activates. They notice that what used to be free and guaranteed is now limited and valuable. Once this realization hits, their response is instinctive. They start to chase, become possessive, and show effort. The chase may begin subtly, a few extra messages, more frequent calls, or slightly more attention toward your availability. Gradually, it becomes more noticeable. They actively move to maintain the connection. If they were indifferent before, now they start investing their energy and time, their mind and heart registering your increased importance. This reaction is a natural result of the combination of pullback and scarcity. Possessiveness also becomes apparent at this stage. They want your attention to be reserved for them, and use their actions to signal that they want to maintain the connection. This possessiveness isn't aggressive, it's subtle and instinctive, showing that they are affected by your absence or limited attention. Effort is another key aspect. The avoidant, who may have shown minimal interest before, now starts actively engaging while respecting your boundaries in your space. They simultaneously make moves to connect. These efforts can be symbolic, a call, a meaningful message, or attention that wasn't automatic before. It's their way of showing that they are willing to chase and engage. This stage is the clearest proof that your pullback and selective availability are working. What was once ordinary and free has now become precious and valuable. Their behavior is triggered by your boundaries. Chase, possessiveness, and effort are all natural outcomes. And this is exactly the moment that sets up the next phase of dynamics. Now you can clearly see how the avoidant starts to invest emotionally and take action to maintain the connection, all as a direct result of your control, pullback, and scarcity strategy. Often people get confused and think, and avoidance reactions define their value. That's a misconception. Your value does not depend on their chase, possessiveness, or gratitude. Your job is to protect your own energy, maintain your boundaries, and recognize your self-worth. When avoidance chase selectively, it's just a natural effect of your strategy, but your goal isn't to change them or prove anything. Your responsibility is solely for your own life and emotions. This is the empowering moment. When you pull back, become selective and rare, you automatically increase your value. Your restraint becomes attractive and desirable, and the chase, possessiveness and effort you see from them is proof that your boundaries are working. But remember, the real win is when you don't need their wanting at all. Your contentment and peace come from your choices, not their reactions. If they reciprocate, that's a bonus, a nice outcome of your efforts. If not, take your energy back and invest your time in things that give you respect, love and fulfillment. Overgiving, over-availability, and feeling pressured to chase ends, and your focus shifts entirely to your own growth and happiness. The core message is simple: the less you give, the more they want you. But the biggest win is when you don't need their wanting at all. Understand your value, protect your energy, and invest in what truly gives you respect and peace.